Once upon a time, an evil queen cast a powerful curse that trapped every single fairy tale character in our world. Until one day it broke. Until one day, our savior Emma Swan broke the curse. But then the next generation was under the same spell. And finally, we're gonna break the curse tonight. Welcome to our live stream, everybody. How it all ends, you're about to find out. Okay, we are finishing Once Upon a Time. It's been so long, right? Last Thursday, if you weren't here, last Thursday I watched 3 episodes, but you guys only watched 2 with me because the live stream shut down, and it was due to Wi-Fi disconnect. And so, if you weren't here, go back. I did a live stream on Sunday. I know we don't. I know we don't do them on Sundays anymore, but because of the lack of internet and we lost 1 out of our 3 episodes, I decided to make up for that by reacting to that episode again for Sunday. Timestamp is 43 minutes and 48 seconds. We're watching season 7, episode 19, Flower Child, okay? If you're watching Disney Plus. Otherwise, just pause it before they say previously on Once Upon a Time. A couple things I need to talk about before we start. So, again, 4 episodes tonight. We're not doing 3 because there's only 4 left. I also forgot this. Don't forget my Hollywood hat. This is pure Hollywood right here. Magic, right? They're the ones who started the movie business and TV show business. Yes, we are going back to Storybrooke in the series finale. Back to Storybrooke. Like I'm not talking about flashbacks. I'm not here to say goodbye tonight. I'm not going to tell you how much of a journey and wonderful time it has been to go through the show with you. All of that is saved for next week. One last announcement before we get started. I got a haircut at the beginning of June. My goodbye presentation video was made in May, so my hair's gonna be long and brown again. But anyway, when this live stream started, my hair was much, much longer, and it was a little bit more brown. I think the black is still trying to fade out from the spring, but anyway, my hair has changed a lot during the show. We went from brown to blonde, then from blonde to red to white for a couple weeks, and then I added a blue hair strand in the middle. I don't know if you liked it or not, but I did that. And then we went from white with a blue strand to all black and back to brown. So tell me what your favorite hairstyle was. What was your favorite color of my hair throughout the year we've done this show? It'll be nice to know to go back decades down the road and realize, oh, this was the same year I dyed my hair. Ready? Final 4 episodes. Ready? Ready to finish the series. Ready for this curse to break. 3, 2, 1, 0. I kind of said now and 0 at the same time. Sorry. Remember, Nick was killed. Nick was killed, and Dr. Facilier wants the dagger. Henry finds out he's the biological father of Lucy. He's telling Jacinda, and Rumple's dagger is safe and sound, and Alice is the guardian. And yeah, remember halfway through the season we found out Gothel, found her eight coven of 8 witches, and she used Anastasia to help locate them. Anastasia and Drusilla are free from Gothel, though they're in a safe place. So anyway, we're getting a Gothel flashback. We're gonna find out how she turned evil. Gothel wants to. She's kind of. Does Gothel remind you of someone? Who does Gothel remind you of? Ariel, who want to be part of the human world? No, I bet you're wondering. Well, Gothel's not a mermaid. What do you mean? She's technically a human. Well, you'll find out. She's just disguising as a human just so she could check out the human world. Just like Ursula turned Ariel into a human. She's only disguising herself as a human. She's not a mermaid though. She's some other creature that we haven't seen yet. But Anyway, she has the power to make a rose appear. How cute. On the person's dress. Wow. I don't know if I trust these girls. I don't know if I trust these girls. These girls have nice dresses. I'll admit that. I don't know. They look like the girls that would bully you in high school. I don't know if I would trust them, Gothel. Maybe this is how you descend into your evilness. They bully you, and you want to get revenge on humanity. This is why you are today. Wow, Gothel's playing a mind trick on this cop. You know, if you want to get the police force to do whatever you want with that, even if it means breaking the law, you just mind control them. Apparently, that's what a lot of bad guys do, so that they don't go to jail for once the mind trick stops, and they go to jail for messing with police officers. Hey, wasn't that a broken carriage, kind of like Cinderella's carriage? What was that thumbnail? Oh yeah, it's like a broken carriage. So Henry, by the way, when I go back to look at something, I don't pause or rewind the episode. I just move my mouse and cursor just to when I move my mouse on the bar that shows you how much time the episode has left and stuff. It shows pictures of where my arrow's standing on. And I was just going through the pictures to see what that thumbnail was. So anyway, don't mess up the light. Just so no one's confused. Don't mess up your lot. Don't mess up the live stream. Don't mess up my commentary. Have it synced in. Keep it synced in. Don't mess it up. And I almost never pause the show or rewind it. So Henry is sorry, that was probably dumb to say, but anyway, Henry was is again talking to Cinda about being Lucy's dad and trying to prove fairy tales are real. But if you tell a girl you're dating that fairy tales are real, they're gonna be freaked out and maybe not want to date you anymore. And anyway, I mean, Henry did find a piece of Ella's sister. I mean, Ella's sister, a piece of Ella's sister. I mean, a piece of Ella's slipper. Yeah, you kind of lost Jacinda. I don't think you're ever gonna get together with her. You're acting as crazy as Nick is right now. Except you're not being a serial killer over it. You're actually being a good person, believing in fairy tales, though. That's the only problem. You're not gonna get a girl if you believe in fairy tales. No, he does have a piece of Ella's slipper, but he can't prove that that's just. You can't prove that's the slipper. It just looks like a piece of glass, Jacinda. So Drew, or Prince Naveen because he's awake, is trying to tell Officer Rogers that fairy tales are real, magic's real, and everyone's endangered. The more you accept fairy tales, the more likely you'll survive. And if you don't believe in fairy tales, the more likely you'll not survive. So, the sooner you accept the fact that fairy tales are real, the better. Like, honestly. And Naveen is trying to save the town by trying to get everyone to believe in fairy tales. He can't break the curse, obviously, but he's trying to get everyone to believe in fairy tales. That's not easy to do. Emma spent a whole season trying to believe in fairy tales. It took her a whole season. Seems like Henry's taking a whole season too. Except Emma never had a chance to believe in fairy tales before. Henry was did believe in fairy tales back when he was a kid. So I don't know if that hurt. I don't think that should make it that hard. All he has to do is get his memories back. Unlike Emma, who didn't have memories of fairy tale life at all, she was just a baby. She was barely born when the curse was cast. So it was harder for her, but Henry, it shouldn't be that hard. So you see, Gothel is not a human. She's a weed sprite, whatever this is, whatever form this is, blue hair, blue skin. She's not a human. So this is, again, this is showing that she was disguising as one. Mm. So that's Gothel's mother, and that's Gothel's sister. Interesting. So now we know Gothel's family. She was a poor, innocent hero. What caused her to be so evil? Honestly, I don't see her mother being evil. Oh, Tilly and Margot are hanging out, having another day, and Gothel's spying on them. Good for Tilly. She's standing up for herself. She's not gonna let Gothel play in her mind, you know. She's a strong girl. True Gothel is her mother, but not a good mother. She did abandon her child, even in Fairytale Land. She left her in the tower, and that's why Hook stayed behind to raise her. So Lucy, Dr. Facilier, you should children should stay away. Children should not be in Dr. Facilier's business because, uh, you know, Dr. Facilier is a witch doctor. He's I don't know. I don't trust him around children. Well, everyone's gonna need magic if they want to survive Gothel's curse. Gothel's creating another curse. Anyway, looks like Officer Rogers and Tilly are teaming up like father and daughter, and they don't even know they're father and daughter. That's kind of sad, actually. Luckily, their hearts aren't poisoned because they don't remember that. But still, I don't know if I would trust them, Gothel. They look like they want to make a fool of you in the garden. Yeah, it's not as mysterious as people think. It's all around us. Henry did the same thing in New York a couple seasons back. There's magic all around us. You just have to believe. And then the fountain will open a portal in New York City. Mhm. Exactly. I guess nothing from Earth ever really dies. See, I told you these girls were like high school bullies. God, that's what starts Gothel's evil path. You don't belong in our world. That's how the real world would treat you, actually. They wouldn't dump mud on you, but they would want to study you to death. This is why Storybrooke was protected by a cloaking spell. And honestly, no wonder fairy tales shouldn't be real because well, the real world would destroy them. Government agents and police. Mhm. You're talking to humanity right now, Gothel. You're telling Margot who's part of humanity. You're saying they suck and they destroy things. And it is true. Your girlfriends destroyed your flower. But not all humans are as bad as those girls. Only she knew that. She mind tricked Margot. Yep, Margot's like, ow, that woman tricked me. She took your blood, basically. I mean, yes, we've all been there. People thought Henry was crazy in Storybrooke, and anyone who believes in fairy tales is technically crazy on this show. Henry's gonna let them in. Look, Henry has his own belief in fairy tales, and they're gonna call him crazy for it. He thinks they're gonna call him crazy for it, but everyone's kind of believing that fairy tales might be real. But the curse is still not broken. Otherwise, they'd have their memories back. Wow, Henry believes, kind of. Maybe my book is real. Well, it is. About time you believe that. But hang on, your heart's still poisoned. Don't break the curse. Hey, that's a reference to Emma Swan, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. So look, they're acting like fairy tale characters trying to stop another villain, but they're still cursed, living in the real world, and yet they believe in the fairy tales. To be fair, Emma started believing in fairy tales right before the curse broke, so you know it took Henry eating a poison apple. So maybe we're on the episode right before the curse breaks. Hmm. It is kind of cool, Tilly. That's probably why I fell in love with the show. Not really, actually. It's mainly because Peter Pan was a villain, and all the fairy tale characters are in one show. But like that's a good reason. The idea that that all the fairy tale characters are in the real world and they don't know that they're fairy tale characters. They don't remember who they are, and they're so close to the truth, but yet they feel so far. They're so close they don't even realize. You know how fairy tale like they are. Lucy. Lucy, like, remember, Jacinda still doesn't believe in fairy tales. She's one of the few people left that doesn't believe in fairy tales. So for Lucy to say that Henry's my dad, she's like, wouldn't I remember this guy and have, sex, anyway, wouldn't she remember him? Right? Exactly. Concert tickets, cool. Stuffed frog. I kind of like because you're best friends with Tiana, Princess and the Frog. Grannies. She's like, I don't remember going to Storybrooke. Well, that's why you don't remember going to Storybrooke because you don't remember you're a fairy tale character. It's the missing glass slipper, and Henry has the other end. How cute, Cinderella! And Jacinda's like, yeah, I'm not buying it, but you're my daughter, and I'll let you do what you want. There's the glass slipper. Hey, good thing I brought my shirt, grannies. Anyway, we will be going back to Storybrooke as soon as the curse breaks. Hey, there's mushrooms on Hook's car. I mean, Officer Rogers' car. That's cool. Honestly, because we didn't get a season 8, I think it's nice that even though the curse is not broken, some of these people believe in fairy tales long before it's broken. I think that's a good thing. So we can see our new cast working together as fairy tale characters to defeat villains. We never get to really see that because the curse really pretty much almost takes the rest of the series. And I'm glad we're gonna have it break before the series finale as well because we need our new cast to go on adventures just like the old cast and because with a couple episodes left, we just don't have enough time to go on many adventures. We got to at least have one. So anyway, so Lucy found the glass slipper. Gothel returned to her garden, and all it looks like the the high school bullies destroyed it. Um, they're not high school bullies; they're princess bullies. Anyway, she's wondering where her family is. There she is. There's your mother. Only goodness can bear sweet fruit. Remember what she said though? She Gothel was like, "I'm gonna make them all pay," and Gothel's mother was like, "No, no. Instead, you'll find a new place to grow fruit. You'll find a new place to grow, weeds, right? And magic. You'll find a new place." But Gothel, I don't think is gonna listen to reason because of how evil she is in present day. Anyway, yeah, she's kidnapping Tilly and Rogers. We're in the movie theater, by the way. That's kind of a good place to watch a movie. Once upon a time, to make it into the theaters. Oh no, it's not Tilly that she's gonna hurt. It's Officer Rogers. Oh no, Officer Rogers is in danger. Oh man, Gothel, 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 Gothel. Okay, so now we're back in the flashback. That was quick. We weren't in the present day for long. She's going back to get revenge on all the humans that killed her family. Gothel just killed those knights. Hmm. She's dead. She used magic. Haha. She has magic too. Gothel didn't know. Your bully's friend had magic. You and the bully didn't know either. Wow, she's just gonna kill all the humans. This is how all the humans became this. Eh. This is how all the humans became extinct. Honestly, I mean, no one believes you haven't believed you are Alice from Wonderland yet. Yeah, I mean, the police force, I don't think they stand a chance against magic. Yeah, and one of them disgraced their badges too. Yeah, you were born on both from both sides of the looking glass. That's another reference to Alice the Looking Glass. Now Alice has to choose between her mother and her father. I think I'd choose the father. The mother's psycho crazy. And also that's nice to see. Gothel's first best friend right here, this girl that bullied her into, because she had no choice. She was following orders. She's in the present day too. All of them. Yep, all of them are dead. Oh, Gothel, this is not what your mother was talking about. This is how our world was made. This is how the land without magic was born. Magic bean. Well, that's nice, but your mother said not to get revenge, to just find a place to start a new garden. You're just ignoring what your mother actually said. Awful. Your mother is so disappointing, I bet. So yes, and you know, being kind of a little sacrilegious, this is considered pretty much the garden where Adam and Eve were too. Um, so anyway, now we know that instead of dinosaurs, there were humans before Adam and Eve, and then Gothel destroyed them all. Just kidding. Anyway. But yes, we're jumping thousands and thousands of years later, back to the present. Gothel is immortal. Jesus lived longer than Rumpel, even the first Dark One, because Merlin was only 1,000 years old, and this is thousands with an S years later. So Gothel is considered the oldest, besides Zeus and Hades, who are older, of course. Besides the gods, uh, Gothel's the oldest living being on Earth. Crazy, huh? How she never aged, how she never died. She's just been immortal for thousands of years. Even lived longer than Adam and Eve, practically. Tilly doesn't, because okay, Tilly has some belief that Officer Rogers is her father, and she doesn't want. And even if he's not, he's at least a father figure to her that she doesn't want to see die. So she's sacrificing Gothel's curse to save her father. Obviously, Gothel knows how to play her cards because Tilly couldn't bear to see anything happen to Officer Rogers. If only Officer Rogers knew Eloise Gardner was bad, he would never even try finding her in the first place in the beginning of the season. Yes. You remember, even though Dr. Facilier doesn't care about Henry's life, he does care about Regina's. and he loves Regina enough to know that he wouldn't let her son die. So to please Regina, she's gonna save Henry, and and let the curse break, right? And because he needs the curse broken, and he wants Regina on by his side, so he's not gonna let Henry die. Henry's cured. Okay, I think that was a little cheesy. I think they went a little too cheesy with this. I think one reason is because the show's ending, so they have to quickly wrap storylines, and they don't have time to really give a real cure to Henry's heart, so they kind of just cheated. But anyway, all you needed was Cinderella's glass slipper. That's all the magic you needed. All you needed was a glass slipper to put inside Henry's voodoo doll. Luckily, Dr. Facilier is not going to kill Henry with it, right? He's not going to poke him with a needle. He's just going to, instead of stabbing him, he's going to drop the glass slipper, all the pieces of the glass slipper into his body. That will automatically heal him. I mean, that is a symbol of his true love, Cinderella. So, I mean, I guess that could work, but still feels cheesy. Oh, so Henry and Jacinda are making love, and they're believing in their fairy tale characters, and they're thinking the curse will break with True Love's kiss. Yeah, see, even Jacinda's accepting the fact that she might be Cinderella, and she's like, I have so many life memories of me being Jacinda. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to forget all. I don't want to know if I want to leave this all behind. I mean, Charming taught us one thing: you could be both. You could be Jacinda and Cinderella. You could be the fairy tale character and the real world man. You could be the sheriff and the prince. Obviously, right? So anyway, Jacinda and Henry go for the kiss, but did it break the curse? The curse didn't break. What? The curse didn't break. We only have a handful of episodes left. You gotta break it. True Love's kiss didn't break the curse. We're gonna find out why that is in just a second. So anyway, I liked how Lucy kind of blackmailed Dr. Facilier into curing Henry. I mean, you can't resist the no you can't resist the no from a child. You can't resist a yes from a child. I mean, it's Lucy asking, not Facilier. You know, Facilier already gave Regina magic to cure Henry, and since she failed at using it because Rumpel betrayed her, Dr. Facilier had every reason to just let Henry die from this poison. But Lucy knocked some sense into him, saying, "Ronnie's never going to forgive you if you don't do this." And Dr. Facilier is like, "Oh yeah, I want Ronnie to still love me, and I want her to be on my side. So fine, I'll cure Henry. If we didn't have a child like Lucy, I don't know if Mr. Sandy or Dr. Facilier would ever cure Lucy, honestly." So Tilly is accepting the fact that Officer Rogers is her father. She doesn't remember her fairy tale life. She doesn't believe she's Alice in Wonderland, but she does believe one thing, that Hook is her father. So she's going to cast Gothel's spell to protect Hook's life, or Officer Rogers' life. So at least they know they're father and daughter, but the curse is still quite not broken yet, unfortunately. Gothel's saying the words of the spell. Her coven of eight are finally here, and they're gonna say the words of the spell. Dark for church, old to nursery. What? What the heck are you talking about? It's like her coven is a religion or something. hmm Alice chose to hold her hand because she doesn't want anything to happen to Hook. She's crying, because she loves Officer Rogers like a father, and she doesn't want anything to happen to him. They've accepted their father and daughter at this point, and they don't want anything to happen to each other. So Alice is casting the spell to protect her father's life. And the curses have finally been spelled. They finally said the words of the curse, and it's finally been and the curse is finally being released. All right, so the curse, just kind of like how the Snow Queen casted her curse right at the end of Smash the Mirror, right? That's how this episode ends. So anyway, we discovered Gothel's origin story. She was a nice woman, and she had a nice family of a mother and a sister. And we fell in love with the humans, but they betrayed her. She got revenge when her mother told her not to. She ended up, the humans destroyed her family and all the magic in this world. This is why it's called the land without magic. They created pretty much like the Garden of Eden kind of thing. Anyway, and so anyway, they destroyed all the humans. Obviously, we know they come back, promising that one day she'd come back and wipe humanity again. This kind of reminds me of Noah's flood. Anyway, in present day, Gothel and Rogers get kidnapped. Tilly has to join Gothel's coven in order to save Officer Rogers. So she has to make that sacrifice, even though she doesn't want to, and she hates her mother by passion. Henry, Officer Rogers, and Tilly start believing in fairy tales, but they don't remember who they are. They just believe in fairy tales. That's it, And so anyway, they suddenly all believe in fairy tales. But when they shared True Love's kiss, the curse didn't break. And Dr. Facilier healed Henry's heart. So anyway, well, let's find out how they're going to break this curse. Is this Henry Mills? So it is our next episode. So this is going to be a Henry focused episode. We're going to start it, okay? 43 minutes, 53 seconds if you're watching Disney Plus. Otherwise, pause it before they say previously on Once Upon a Time, okay? 3, 2, 1, now. Previously on Once Upon a Time. I said it at the same time as the show did, so if yours didn't say it, then you're behind. Remember, Rumpel's dagger was missing. Dr. Facilier is here to get his dagger. Luckily, his dagger is safe, though. They found it. Everything's fine. Officer Rogers and Alice's heart is poisoned. Henry and Jacinda shared Trilla's kiss. It didn't work. The curse is still not broken. And Officer Rogers and Tilly are kidnapped. Tilly has to cast the awful spell to protect Hook. What a preview, right? Looks like a rainstorm, right? Those clouds are not a great sign, huh? Yeah, how biblical, how Bible-like. I mean, yeah, it's happened in the Bible, Noah's Ark, remember? Anyway, they tried to pull a page out from the Bible a little bit with Gothel's curse and wiping out humanity. Yep. So now we know what happened. Now we know why the curse didn't break. Henry's belief is gone. Remember when Lucy was in the hospital and Henry shared True Love's kiss and the curse didn't break? That's because that's because Lady Tremaine stole Lucy's belief. She got her belief back, but now Henry's got stolen. You can't break the curse unless both of you believe in true love. By the way, the Once Upon a Time thumbnail is Regina's car from Storybrooke, obviously. So there we go. We're back in Storybrooke. Flashback. Woohoo! Haven't been to Storybrooke in forever. Anyway, sorry, that was a little loud. Henry's a senior in high school. Flashback. Henry's a senior in high school. Wow, he has grown up a lot. And it's Jared Gilmore. He's back to play Henry. You haven't seen him since the beginning of season 7. Remember when he left Storybrooke? That was the last time we saw him. Yeah, you haven't used the lunchbox since season 1. Oh, but we know in flashbacks earlier in season 7, he had, Regina's lunchbox with a key to his motorcycle. Or no, no, that's where he keeps his tools, his lunchbox, but anyway. Anyway, he's rethinking about college. He doesn't wanna go to college after high school. Other options? What do you mean by that? Um, I promise I won't bring her home without I promise I'll bring her home without a scratch. Henry? Are you sure you wanna make that promise? Regina's having a hard time accepting that he's growing up. Regina and Rumpel have never made up for the betrayal last week. Yeah, Rumpel, why be a team player now when you screwed Henry over for the sake of saving your precious dagger? You may never get back to Belle with what you accepted. Maybe not because you've done too many evil deeds. I think Rumpel's finally coming around. He's saying, I may never get back to Belle. I may never be redeemable, but then that's not gonna stop me from helping the family I have here. You know? If I can't be with Belle in the afterlife, I might as well help the family I have here on Earth. And that's good for Rumpel, choosing to help Henry and break the curse, right? It's too late. What do you mean it's too late? What are you talking about? How does this officer know what what Gothel's talking about? Like honestly, he's like saying it's too late. She's turning into a sprout. He escaped. You should have paid attention, officer. I don't know his name. Officer Rogers is punching his own deputy out, punching a police force. Imagine you're a police officer punching one of your own. You could get in trouble for that. Officer Rogers tried to get Tilly out of there, and she's put under some spell. She's kind of locked into the curse. She's locked into the curse, so she can't get out. Officer Rogers, his heart is hurt because the poison reenacted. He doesn't even know that his heart's poisoned. He's probably confused with why he hurts so bad, why his heart hurts. I think most mothers would want to ground you because you promised to take good care of it and you broke that promise. Why is Regina so forgiving? Honestly, he has a lucky mother to have. He's lucky to have a mother like her. I would love to go to Storybrooke College. I want to go there. Study film in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I was just there. Excuse me, Hollywood. Hello. Anyway, Ronnie and Henry probably haven't talked in a while. Honestly, they were best friends at the beginning of the season. Coffee is fine. She's not gonna get drunk. She's gonna try to drop something in Henry's drink. Ronnie's looking at all Henry's posted notes about fairy tale characters. Man, what a reboot this has been. Henry drinks it, but doesn't remember who he is. You should have just went with Lucy sending you here, honestly. That's what you should have done. Yeah, you did. Honestly, just an episode ago. But you're not wrong, Henry. Yes, you shouldn't be someone else to be happy. But that's the thing, the curse flips it that on its head. You are someone else. You just don't remember that someone else. You're being right now you're being someone you're not. And it's not making you happy, honestly. Like you need to be yourself again. Like he thinks he's not he thinks he's already being himself, but he's not. You need to be yourself again, Henry. Wake up and break the curse. You're our new savior now. Emma's gone. Luckily, you don't have to face any final battle, though. We don't have time for that. We would have needed 12 seasons to have Henry be a savior in a final battle. Yeah, I think this does create a better ending for the show because the final battle was kind of cheesy last season. Yeah, Drew is. It's not normal for Drew to go MIA. He's kidnapped by Dr. Facile. Yes. Mr. Sandy kidnapped him. Lucy has all the information. Lucy, I'd be careful. You blackmailed Mr. Sandy. I don't know if he'd like it if you did it again and got him in trouble. Honestly, he's probably gonna be mad at Lucy for telling on Jacinda and Sabine for telling him on for telling on him with Sabine and Jacinda. Whatever. What am I saying? I don't know. Mhm. Hook is not mad, and Officer Rogers Detective Weaver believes you because he's awake. His the curse on him is broken. So honestly, Officer Rogers didn't know about that part. Mhm. Kind of funny how we're getting flashbacks to Storybrooke because that foreshadows where we're going in the series finale in present day. I mean, Hook is a survivor. He said that many, many times. Officer Detective Weaver's like, Captain. Maybe Officer Rogers is getting on board and getting the idea that he was a pirate. Maybe Captain Hook. Yeah. I mean, she is in love with Tilly, and Tilly's in love with Margot. So yeah, I'm glad you're bringing Margot into this. Anyway, but Margot has no idea. They had to keep out the fairy tale bits because otherwise they'd think the otherwise she would think the cops are crazy. But anyway, she's gonna go help save Tilly. No, you're in front of a child, Regina. You do not want to dig up a grave when you have a child present. That's too brutal. So Ronnie's gonna have there's Victoria's grave right there, just above Henry's family. Yes, this is not this is not safe for a child to be. You know, it's too violent and too brutal to have a child watch you dig up a dead body. So Ronnie's gonna protect Lucy by, instead of seeing something so gruesome, she's gonna tell Lucy to go find Henry's book. And while she's on a quest to find Henry's book, Ronnie's gonna dig out Victoria's dead body to find the lost to find the book. That does not make sense. Well, Lucy has a white, square copy of Henry's book. She's gonna go get that. While Ronnie is getting the book from Storybrooke, the rectangle brown. Anyway, so Henry goes from not wanting to go to college to deciding, maybe I'll go to Storybrooke College, to then deciding, no, I want to see other options. Um, and Regina is like, okay, you can go study film in Los Angeles. You can go to Weber. You can go to Wyoming and Ohio and or college in Hawaii. Well, mhm. So that's cool. Not everyone gets that opportunity. Henry got accepted into every school he applied to. How rare is that? He's a lucky boy. Yeah. The only person Henry's growing up. He's practically 8. You can't tell him what to do anymore, Regina. The only thing you can tell him is to, is to is to, never grow up. But anyway, Henry still doesn't remember. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Snow, Charming, and Emma, you don't even know if they're missing or not. You can't find someone if you don't know they're missing. They're in Storybrooke. That's where they are. Exactly. Plot twist. The curse, Gothel's curse, the one Drizella casted, took 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 us back in time. There's another version of Henry and Regina still in Storybrooke. Anyway, I mean, the pain is real. The pain of losing your family in a fire. The fire may be fake, but the pain is real. Regina is realizing that. I mean, leave this poor man alone, but it's time to break the curse too. It's like it's a double-edged sword. Yes, your pain is real. Save your family. Mhm. You believe what I believe, but I know you can still save us. I know the show, guys. Anyway, yep. I mean, you can't mess up timelines, and you can't destroy the past. So, I mean, you can't go to Emma, Snow, and Charming for help because they're in the past because you're in the past, and you can't mess with the timeline. And they didn't come with Gothel's curse. So, again, you can't find someone if you don't know they're missing. It just goes to show. So, Gothel's curse took us back in time. What a plot twist! But Regina still can't get Henry to believe in fairy tales. Man, he's like the last person that needs to believe. And then break the curse. Come on, what will it take? First, True Love's kiss doesn't work. Then touching the book. Remember that didn't work in the final battle. Emma touched the book and it didn't work, but it did work in season one. Uh, touching the book didn't work. True Love's kiss didn't work. I mean, we killed the Black Fairy. Maybe if we kill Gothel, it'll destroy the curse. Technically, you'd have to kill Drusilla too. She's part of casting it. Oh, and Regina was the one who put her blood in there before. Anyway, so I guess you'd have to kill a bunch of people in order to break it. You know, because we also learned in Once Upon a Time another way to break curses is to kill the one who casted it. When Black Fairy died, her curse broke. When Snow Queen died, her curse broke. Anyway, but we need another solution because we don't want to kill our Regina. We don't want to kill anybody. Margot! Tilly! You threw Margot across the room! Ow! Wow, how dare you do that to your girlfriend? Wow, everyone's turned into a tree except for Tilly. Margot tried to save her friend, but didn't work. Nope, there's a protection spell. You can't get to her. Oh, all the witches are disappearing. The spell's almost complete. And Tilly's the last one out. Tilly's the last one out. Left. Don't turn into a tree, Tilly. I mean, Dr. Facilier kidnapped him. Because Dr. Facilier could kill you with a toy. Oh my goodness. You don't want to kill our Princess Tiana, our queen. So to save their own lives, Jacinda and Sabine are trapped in Dr. Facilier's closet. Lucy's throwing one of her tantrums. Boom! Slam door. She goes to her room, slams the door on Henry. Lucy's throwing a tantrum because Henry won't believe in fairy tales. Come on, give it up. I guess we're not going to the island tonight. I'm calling your mom. Throwing tantrums, huh? It's dark outside, and maybe it's too late to go. He's gonna try calling the number. He's gonna see if it's real. He's gonna call the phone number. Maybe if True Love's Kiss doesn't break the curse and looking at his own book doesn't break the curse, maybe calling the past will break the curse. That's gonna jog his memory for sure. It will confuse him if he hears his younger voice. He'll be like, how's this possible? See, no wonder his memories are crawling back because if he was still a cursed Henry Mills, if he was Henry Mills of the real world, he would be saying, "Wait, how am I on the other end of this phone? This doesn't make sense." There's no way to believe in fairy tales now. It's all fairy tales for sure. I would believe after all that. Oh, it's the curse. It's the final battle. It's everything we've seen in the first 6 seasons plus more. He has all his memories back. Now we gotta break the curse, though. Hey, that's the title of the episode. Is this Henry Mills on the phone? Hello, is this Henry Mills? Yes, I'm a friend of your mother's. He's hiding it because he doesn't want young Henry to know that it's him from the future. No, don't go get Regina. This would complicate things. They can't know we're here. They can't know. Remember what Regina said to Rumpel episodes back? They said we can't get there, and they can't know we're here. Storybrooke can't know we're here. It'll ruin the timeline. Like anyway, can't mess up. You can't change the past. You can't mess up time travel. Our present is the past. That means all the flashbacks we've been getting in season 7 are flash forwards, and they because they were from the future before Gothel's curse took us back in time. Home isn't a place, it's the people in it. This is how you do a reboot. Because Once Upon a Time takes place when this was on the air, Once Upon a Time took place in the present. So to do a reboot, you'd have to jump to the future, like 2040, and it's still not 2040 yet. So in order to keep this present and continue the show, you kind of had to take everyone back in time, honestly. So Henry's giving Henry's talking to himself on the phone because it's time travel, right? If you go back in time, you can call yourself. As long as you go back, if you don't go back too far before you were born, you can call yourself, right? And he's like, the price. Yes, you're gonna want that. That's the magic bean that starts this whole season 7. If he didn't tell you that that present was behind your desk, you would have never left Storybrooke, and this would have never happened. Henry remembers! Happy ending here! Father and daughter reunited! Now you gotta reunite with your Cinderella and break the curse. Lucy's like, what are you talking about? What phone call? She wasn't alive for it. She doesn't know what you're talking about. Don't tell her. Tell Regina. Tell someone who's alive. Regina doesn't know about that phone call either, I don't think. Because he told himself not to get her. But anyway, Ronnie has no idea that Henry remembers who he is, so she's off to face off on her own. Yes, let's point Gothel with a sticky bat. So, the advice Henry gave himself was home is a place. Home isn't a place, it's the people in it. And they will always be with you no matter where you go, whether that's a different college or a different fairy tale world. You know, back when we had 2 Reginas in Storybrooke, the evil queen, wanted Henry to go back to the fairy tale land and be a knight, but he kinda had to graduate high school first. College was not on the agenda, just graduating high school. So now that he's graduated high school, it makes sense for him to go be a knight and shining armor. He doesn't have to go to college and get a degree. The unknown is still scary, but he at least he knows that he can face it, and he knows that the people he loves will always be there whenever he needs them, and, he home isn't a place, it's the people in it. They'll always be with you when you go and leave home. Sometimes you have to leave home. That's what you do. That's how the children leave the nest. That's how a child leaves their family. That's how a child leaves their parents. They graduate and they live on their own. I'm still trying to do that, but I don't have the money to. I need a magic bean just like Henry. I'll tell you in the morning. We all know what happens. Henry goes to sleep, and the next morning he leaves home and surprises Regina. I thought after high school you'd think about college. That's how season 7 started. He said, I thought after high school you'd think about college. Well, college isn't going anywhere. I need to do this. Operation Cobra's over. We have our happy ending. Why leave? I'm still the author. I've been living everyone else's story. I need to find my own story. Well, we just lived his own story. He fell in love with Cinderella, casted another curse, went back in time. Now that curse is being broken. Henry's had a story of his own. And now, with that, we can wrap the show up. Everyone's had their own story and they live happily ever after. The only thing left to do now is to be awful and Dr. Facilier and the Wish Realm. Anyway, so after Henry decides to not go to college and live on his own, um, um, Regina faces Gothel alone, and Gothel easily defeats her. She has no magic. It's easy to know who wins. Gothel knocks Regina out. Regina's like unconscious and almost dead. Henry runs to her, apologizes, and says, "I love you. I should have believed you. I'm so sorry." They kiss. Henry got his belief back because he remembers who he is. So both Henry and Regina believe in true love. Lucy believes in true love. Everyone believes in true love. So true love Chris should break the curse. He kisses his mom. Remember, Emma kissed Henry to break the curse. Now it's the other way around, except it's not Emma that Henry's kissing. He's kissing his other mom, Regina. Well, to be fair, when the Wicked Witch cast the curse in season 3, or Snow and Charming did, but they had to come to Storybrooke to defeat the Wicked Witch. Anyway, Regina did break the second curse. So by kissing Henry. Now Henry's returning the favor, but he doesn't return the favor to Emma. So that's hasn't been resolved. That'd be nice to see Henry kiss Emma on the forehead, right? Oh well. Anyway, Henry kisses Regina on the forehead though, and even though we never see him kiss Emma on the forehead, that's fine. It breaks the curse. Everyone remembers who they are. Tilly and Alice, Allison and Robin. Remember who they are. They share true love's kiss, or LGBT. And then everyone's sharing true love's kiss, and curse is broken. Now we can face Gothel with magic. If Regina's magic's not strong enough to defeat Gothel, Alice's magic can be strong. Not half as strong as you, Alice. Alice, you're stronger than you know. You could be better than your mother. You're better than her. You could defeat her. Grow stronger, Alice. So now, yep. Every step Hook takes, his heart grows weaker. Hook's willing to risk his own life to protect his daughter. Now that the curse is broken, the poisoned heart has been reunited. Henry would have been dead right now if Dr. Facilier didn't cure his heart. So thanks to Dr. Facilier, Henry's alive. But Alice and Robin's heart are still poisoned. I mean, Alice and Hook's heart are still poisoned. So of course, now that his heart is reenacted, Hook is dying from being close to Alice, but he's willing to do anything to help his daughter fight against Gotham. Yes, she's no crazy girl. She's not a street rat. She's not a belittled person that's lost her way. She's stronger than that. She's better. She chooses love, while Gothel chooses hate. She hates the world, while Alice loves the world. It's a wicked place for sure, but you're no better than the world if you hate it. Might as well love whatever good it has to offer, even if there isn't much. But, well, it looks like speech Alice's speech about love and true and fairy tales kind of turned Gothel into a tree, just like Merlin. Honestly, just like Merlin, though, Gothel can free from the tree. She can free herself from that tree. Event, maybe she can't, but someone could free her from that tree in the future. So she could technically still be a potential threat. If only they did a season 8 and brought her back, right? Unfortunately, not. So she stays a tree forever. And Alice puts flowers on her to make her look more beautiful, to make an ugly tree look beautiful. Alice is, Alice is stronger than her mother ever was. Just as good as her grandmother, probably. Farewell, Gothel. Dr. Facilier knows that Gothel died and the curse is not being casted anymore. So Facilier is like, well, at least I don't have to protect myself from her anymore. Now he could just focus on coming after the dagger. And except now that Tiana and Naveen and Cinderella are all awake, they could break from Dr. Facilier's closet and defeat him. Dr. Facilier runs for cover. Cinderella's gonna find her family. Hey, Regina said that about the car when you were a teenager. Scratches are just a part of life, both physically and spiritually. Sketches are part of life. You just forgot who you were. It's okay. It happens. Not really. Curses and unreal. This is the personal essay he wanted to send to his colleges. He titled it after the show. His essay's titled "Once Upon a Time." Everyone's living happily ever after. That's not the end. Hook is going to the hospital because his heart is poisoned. He's hurt. Alice feels sad. Alice and Robin are the only ones not living happily ever after. Did you hear that? You find love, hope, something to believe in. Find the family that fights for one another, who never gives up on by curse, distance, or time. Hmm. We've had all of those. They always find each other. That's the Snow and Charming model. They'll always find you. Your loved ones will always find you in the end. Yes. If only we could all know the story of your family, huh? Yes, they're more than words on a page. They live inside us. They make us who we are. As long as someone believes that, as long as someone believes in this story of fairy tales, there will always be magic. What a great speech. This is the personal essay he was going to send to all the colleges he applied for, but couldn't because it's fake. They wouldn't believe him, they wouldn't accept him. Anyway, it was professionally well written. He wishes the world could know him. Well, they do. It's a fairy tale show. It's been put. They believe we all believe it's pretty much fiction. So, unfortunately for Henry, I'm sorry that no one believes your story. But how it was all real, how it was all true, and how every little bit of it happened. And sometimes you have to leave home and you don't know what you'd be outside of it. The home isn't a place, it's the people in it. And they'll be with you no matter where you go next. Rumpel thought he remember when for Gideon's birthday, Belle gave Rumpel a book for all their travels, just like Carlson did in Up with Ellie, right? They wrote all their adventures into one book of adventures. And Rumpel thought he lost it, but it was in Dr. Facilier's office all along. Rumpel's again trying to choke the life out of Dr. Facilier, but if he does, he can't be reunited with Belle. He got to remember that. He puts his fingers down. That's good. He knows killing's wrong. Even though Dr. Facilier is just going to continue throwing threats at you, you can't give in. How rude, Dr. Facilier. Trying to get back to your love has made you the worst version. I think that's the best version of Rumpel we've had. What are you talking about? Wish Round Rumpel is back, who just killed Dr. Facilier. Yeah, you're the worst version of Rumpel. You're the worst version. Dr. Facilier is insulting. Yes, let's get better acquainted, right? Whoa, boy, what an episode. Credits rolling. Woo! Man. Okay. So, Wish Round Rumple, without an explanation of how he came to the real world, he just posts out of nowhere and kills Dr. Facilier unexpectedly. Wish Round Rumple makes his way to the real world, even though he's not real. Curse is broken finally. Everyone believes in fairy tales. We're done with Seattle. Let's try to make our way back to Storybrooke, right? That's where we're at now. We're just broken the curse and everyone's living happily ever after, at least for now. In flashback, Henry is about to go off to college. He's graduating from high school, but he decides he doesn't want to go. He gets accepted to every single college he applied to, but ends up going to none of them. and ends up going on a fairy tale journey, which is what we discovered in season 7, which leads us to Andrew J. West, who plays adult Henry, has a daughter, Lucy. Right now, all the puzzle pieces are put together, ending the way we started season 7. Before we start the next episode, I'm just going to read the comments really quick. Oh no, that would be cool to call the younger me. This is just someone on Facebook. Um, let's see. That would be fun to call you the younger me. I kind of wish I could. Oh, yeah, just some family relatives. Home is not a place; it's the people in it. Yep. Episode 21, the episode before the series finale. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, 0. Season 7, episode 21, Homecoming. 43 minutes and 50 seconds. Anyway, curse is finally broken. We're about to embark on one last journey. Guys, wow, we're cutting to the end almost, huh? Getting there, getting there. What time is it? It's 8:45. Wow. Many, many, many years ago, in the Wish Realm Enchanted Forest, Prince Henry Mills on his horse. This is not the Henry Mills we saw all of season 7. This is a different Henry. Remember Henry? Okay, let me give you a little reminder of who this Henry is. This is a different Henry. So in the Wish Realm, remember how Regina killed Snow and Charming to get Emma back? Henry was there when his grandparents died, and then he watched Regina steal his mom. So yes, this realm was created by a wish. It's not real, but to Henry it is. To this Henry it is. So you can imagine how heartbroken it was to see his grandparents die in the hands of Regina, and to see his mom run away. And so anyway, Henry, now years older, is trying to find his own story, just like our Henry, because he has no family left. All his family died, and he's off on his own to find his own happy ending. And he finds, see, this is him right now. He finds it. He tries to be a hero. He finds a princess. Before he could share true love's kiss, he has to, he gets interrupted by a dragon. And before he could slay it, another prince slays it. This random dude is like, "Don't worry, I got this," and he gives the girl true love's kiss. Man, Henry feels betrayed. So much for trying to save a princess and get a happy ending, and yet you stole someone else's. Ouch, that hurts. Did you hear that? So the princess wakes up, has the man of her dreams, and it wasn't Henry. Henry was fooled. Every time he gets a happy ending, he gets fooled. He gets another. He ends up stealing someone else's happy ending. And so anyway, he didn't want to embarrass himself, so he lied about being in the neighborhood and getting the princess a familiar face when she returned. And when you know how she repays him back, she goes, he's like the brother I never had. How hurtful is that? Anyway, yeah, she never loved you. She loved another prince. Our Henry is happily ever after with us, with a African American Cinderella. But this Henry doesn't have a happily ever after, and he anyway. Wish Realm Rumple's been trying to make a deal with him, but Henry knows better than to take one of his deals in any realm. Oh, that's Star Wars. I'll be with you always. That's they quoted Star Wars. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Right? He's like, I will be with you always. I know better than to trust your deals in any realm. Henry says, you know. He will try to find his happy ending the right way. He's trying to be a hero. He's trying not to give in to evil. He's trying very hard not to. Every time he goes after a princess, it gets stolen by another prince, though. And every time he tries, he fails. He can't seem to find a happy ending. It's like, the only happy ending he's ever had was Snow, Charming, and Emma got taken away by Regina, who was only pretending to be evil to get the savior back. So you can't blame her for that. And she didn't know this realm was real. She thought it was fake. It's not her fault. Don't blame her. Anyway, poor Henry. He's gonna come back. The Wish Realm Henry is gonna come back. He's gonna play a vital role in this final 2 episodes. So everyone is at Ronnie's bar celebrating the end of the curse. You could call this a happy ending, but it's not the end of the show, unfortunately. Call that just the end of season 7, though, because now we're gonna focus on old characters returning for the final 2 episodes. Alice, you see, this is why the show is not over yet, because Alice and Hook are their hearts are still poisoned. And Rumpel got kidnapped by Rumpelstiltskin himself. Yeah, Facilier is dead. No. Well, if only you knew he was dead, and that Wish from Rumpel was back. Officer Rogers took a taxi, and he's going inside a building. What building is that? Alice is just across the street. She has to keep her distance because of their poison heart. They're talking about how they can't be together. That everyone's celebrating the end of the curse, and they're the only ones not happy. We're gonna get a cure for them. We got 2 episodes to find a cure. Well, let's see. Yeah, about yeah. We're still pretty early into this episode, so pretty much 2 full episodes. One episode in 35 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yep. Everyone's together except for Alice and Hook. Unfortunately, they will find a way to fix this. Yes. I love you. Love you too, Starfish. That's her nickname. And Hook's nickname is Nook. Doc Regina's coming to find Dr. Facilier. There's the voodoo dolls. There's the voodoo dolls. She's wondering where her boyfriend is, her true love. She's wondering where Dr. Facilier is. Yep, well, fortunately, he's dead. Oh, look, the fountain's leaking. She knows something's up. She's going to use her magic to look under behind it. It's Rumpel. Rumpel! Rumpel was tied up behind a waterfall. Oh, there's Rumpel and Belle. Rumpel's kind of a little upset that his book got mistreated. Facilier is dead, yep. And Regina's like, oh no. Yep. What the heck does Wish Realm Rumpel want, right? He made an unexpected appearance at the end of last episode. What does Wish Realm Rumpel want? We're about to find out. This all started with a cupcake. Remember in the pilot, Emma made a wish to be reunited with her family. Once that she blew out that candle on her 20th birthday, Henry knocked on the door. This all started with a cupcake, and it's all going to end with a cupcake. They all are going to make a wish to be together. Unfortunately, the opposite happens. So Emma makes a wish. Henry shows up at the door. But when Henry makes a wish, his wife and daughter disappear. Now he has to find them. It is ironic, isn't it? Because you're Wish Rumple. Mhm. So Wishram Rumple played a card out of his own book. He decided to capture Henry's family so that he would be desperate to get them back and hand over Rumple's dagger because that's what he wants. So Henry's almost desperate to steal his grandpa's dagger and give it to this Wishram Rumple. Honestly, that's hard because Henry loves his family, but is it really worth the risk to to prevent Rumple from getting to Belle? Henry's gonna go to his remainder family members to tell them what happened. Yes, we're not gonna negotiate. We don't want Rumple to lose his opportunity to be with Belle in the afterlife. So we're not gonna risk giving other Rumple the dagger. We're gonna find a way to keep both the dagger and get Henry's families back. Mhm. We're gonna be heroes here. Captain Hook is ready to go back home. He thought he'd never say that because he never liked the wish realm. But he's gonna go back home to help Henry save his family. That's great on Hook. He's gonna get his hook back because he's had a fake hand all season. Curse is broken. Why are you stress faking, right? Come on, Princess Tiana, be a queen. Rule your people. Yep. You're both. You need to Tiana, Princess and the Frog. You need to watch the other seasons of Once Upon a Time. We learned that it's okay to be both. You could be the fairy tale character and the real world person. You could be Sabine and Tiana. You could be the queen and the baker. You could be both. You could live your real world life and still keep your fairy tale memories. Like you could be both. You shouldn't have to struggle with who you are. You can be both. Yep. And you're gonna share true love's kiss too. You had a way with words, Naveen, and Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen in love. So Henry, Regina, Rumpel, Henry, and Hook are going to go to the Wish Realm to save Henry's family. Yes, saving Henry's family won't be a walk in the park. It's going to be difficult and dangerous. But who laughs in the face of danger? Quote the Lion King. But I laugh in the face of danger. Ha 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 ha! We're all with you till the end. Yes, we are. We're all with Henry till the end. We're not going to stop until his family is safe and sound. Hey, yes. Did you hear what Hook just said? Who's ready for one last grand adventure? Let's go get your family. Right? The mirror opens. The looking glass. That's not a giant looking glass. That's a small looking glass. So small that you have to create a portal to walk through it. Oh, they all got separated. Henry and Regina got separated from Hook and Rumple. Wow. Because the mirror was cracked. So it took them to two separate places in the wish realm. Oh my goodness, that's gross. The Wish realm Rumple has dead bodies lying around. Peter Pan is back! Our first cameo from the first few seasons. You know how your son is, right, Pan? He never forgives and he never forgets. Some boys have no way of growing up. Did you hear what Peter Pan said? What good things come to my son's castle never come out. That's why those people are skeletons. They died in Rumple's castle. That's what Regina and Henry will be if they can't find a way to escape. They'll be dead skeletons. That's the worst version of Rumple's castle I've ever seen. It's way darker than the original castle was. Oh my goodness. Dead bodies everywhere. Whew. So okay, so Rumple and Hook, on the other hand, they're by Rumple's old home in the Wish Realm. They're the home where Rumple raised his son Bellfire, and you know, yes, when Rumple tried to face Rumple before, he ended up tied up to a wall and failed. So we need a strategy. We need a plan before we can attack Rumpelstiltskin. Hook knows where to get help. So him and Rumple are good Rumple. Him and good Rumple. It's hard to know which one I'm talking about, right? Hook and our Rumple, are going to get some help from a friend under the sea. So our first cameo was Peter Pan. Who's our next cameo? Now I bet you're wondering, Peter Pan's dead, and he's in the River of Lost Souls. This is Wish Realm Peter Pan. So while the original character's dead, the Wish Realm version's not. Anyway, Hook was giving up on being with Alice, but thanks to a certain mermaid, he never gave up. That's a flashback again we never got. And guess who his fish friend was? Ariel! Wow, she has a Triton. She has her father's Triton, King Triton. Remember from Little Mermaid, King Triton? Ariel's now the queen of the sea, and she was just about to use her Triton to kill Rumple, but then Hook had to explain that this is not the villain Rumple, this is our hero Rumple. You know what's funny? Rumpel had encountered Ariel in Neverland before when they had to go get a box to trap Pan. Remember that? You would think they would remember each other, but this is Wish Realm Ariel, so no wonder they don't. So our first cameo is Peter Pan, then Ariel. Who's next? Who's gonna show up that hasn't been here for billions of seasons? Just kidding. Only like 3, 5, 7. 7 seasons means they haven't been here since the pilot, though. Cruella de Vil is back. Now, remember, we saw her multiple times. We saw her alive in the Queens of Darkness. Then she was in the underworld, and she didn't fall in the River of Lost Souls. So technically, she's still down there, and she's dating King Arthur's knight. Remember that little scene we saw after season 5 ended? This is Wish Realm Cruella. Wish Realm Cruella de Vil did not die. So this is our original Cruella de Vil is dead and stuck in the underworld, but our Wish Realm Cruella is still alive. Henry's gonna sword fight with Cruella de Vil. This is gonna be interesting. Sword fight! Fight Cruella de Vil! They're trying to get some magic ink. While Rumpel and Hook get Squiddy, which has the power to freeze a dark one and almost kill him. Henry's getting author ink to write, because he's the author of his book, right? He's gonna get magical ink to write everyone's story. Henry was just about to defeat Cruella until Regina decided to trap her in a cage instead. That's better than killing her because she can't kill anybody. She's defenseless. We all know that. So I was wrong before. I thought Henry was one because remember, Cruella has ink in her hair from the author. So I thought he was going to go after the ink in her hair, but that's later on. I spoiled a little bit. Sorry. He was actually just finding out where his wife and daughter are, and they needed to get the information from Cruella. Cruella gave them the information, and now they're going to find him. Now he's going down into Rumpel's basement to find him. There's Ella and Lucy stuck in a snow globe. Wish Rumpel. That's funny. He can literally stick his happy ending on a shelf. Henry wants a happy ending. He could just stick it on a shelf because it's in a snow globe. People say I'm crazy. Well, you are crazy, Rumpelstiltskin. You want people to trade life for a life or someone's happy ending for another. That's not right. So we're doing the Cinderella twist. Remember how Cinderella had until midnight before the spell was broken? Before her gown disappeared and her glass slippers vanished and her coach turned into a pumpkin. Remember that story? You know how she had until midnight night to fall in love with the prince. Anyway, Cinderella, and Lucy are trapped in a snow globe, and Rumpel made things worse by adding a very cold blizzard snow on them, and they're freezing to death, and the globe will be filled with snow by midnight. And in Cinderella, this time Cinderella has no fairy godmother to get a dress or or a coach or a carriage. She won't use a coach or carriage to escape. Her, she and her daughter will lose their lives. So Henry has until midnight before the snow globe fills up, all the way, kills them and freezes them to death. So they don't have coats on, so they're very, very cold. Henry is so furiated of what Rumple's done. He's throwing it on the wrong person. He's throwing it on his own grandpa, and he's saying, "Who really deserves their happy ending? You've done too much evil, Rumple. Maybe you don't deserve to be with Belle." Blah blah blah. And Henry's letting his emotions cloud his judgment because he can't control the fact that his family's gonna be killed by midnight. Yep. Regina's gonna try to uh, Regina's telling everyone to go up in the castle library, because Rumple has a castle library. Find a spell to, you know, find a spell to break that curse on the snow globe before it's too late. That's what Henry's doing, looking through every book to see if he can find a way to break the spell. Went through book after book after book. Rumple's taking the hammer he used as a coward to walk into his old house. Brings back old memories, huh? When it was just you and Bellfire. Brings back old memories, huh? Yes, you do. You hate this place, don't you? This is where you became a coward. This is when Bellfire abandoned you. The good old days, doesn't it? So Wishram Rumple and Rumple are having a conversation, and yeah. Unfortunately, little does Rumple know this that Regina's following him to make sure he stays honest. So Rumple is making a deal with himself, saying, "Here, you take the dagger, you take the power of immortality, and then in return, you let me die and be reunited with Belle." Rumple didn't like that deal, but he takes it. As soon as he touches the dagger, though, there's squid ink on it. I know, remember, a squid ink can paralyze a dark one, but only temporarily. So Rumple has short time to do whatever he wants with himself before the squid ink wears off. I dropped the battery somewhere on the floor. Whatever. Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin Wishram is just a beast that needs to be put out of his misery. Yes. Think about this though. If you kill yourself, you may never see your precious spell again. You have to find a way to get to her without killing anybody, including yourself. Luckily, Regina's here to stop him. Too late. The scooting war. Yeah, but the scooting wore off. Now Rumple can't defeat himself. Oh well. Nope, it didn't. Rumple thought that the hammer would jog himself's memory, but it didn't work. A prophecy. Remember the prophecy? Rumpelstiltskin. Guys, did you think we forgot about that? Remember, remember how there was a prophecy that said that Henry would be Rumple's undoing? We all thought that was going to be back in Neverland, but that never happened. And then it was completely forgot about. It's coming back to play now. It's coming back into play. Henry is now officially Rumple's undoing. So remember, Hook went up with Henry to search through the library to find a way to get Ella and Lucy out. Henry has a plan, but it's kind of evil, and he doesn't want his family to stop him, so he knocks Hook out. He's thinking he can use his author abilities to write Lucy and Ella out of the snow globe. Yes, including your site. So this is The Apprentice. We go from Peter Pan, Ariel, Cruella, now The Apprentice from season 4. What a cameo appearance. So many cameos, right? Yeah, so remember, this is the Wishram apprentice. He wasn't here when Henry was a boy. This is the different apprentice. So he has no idea who Henry is or the fact that there was an author after Isaac. So anyway, he has to touch Henry's heart in order to see his life unfold before his eyes. And it is a complicated story. The timelines are long. It makes your head spin, doesn't it? Too many fairy tales, too many plot twists, too many family trees, right? So much confusion, right? Confusion. Anyway, only a true author can write such a tale. It needs a little more romance, perhaps, but maybe in your next book. That's kind of funny. What do you mean more romance? Henry has all the romance he needs with Cinderella and Lucy. What do you mean he needs more romance? What are you talking about? The Apprentice is crazy with riddles. It looks like the author gave Henry. It looks like the Apprentice gave Henry the pen, regardless of. Wow. So this apprentice, not like the one that died in Camelot, but this apprentice is blind, and yet he knows who Henry is just by touching his heart and having the whole flashback of his entire life unfold, and then giving him the author pen because he trusts him. Wow, crazy. I mean, they had to find some loophole around because we don't have much time before the series ends, and so you kind of have to you just kind of have to make it cheap and easy. But wow, remember when Isaac was the author and he spilled the ink on Wella's hair? Henry knows that from his storybook. So he could take the ink from Quilla's hair, making her completely old and gray and white. And Will skin your life for this. Cruella's so mad at Henry for stealing her beautiful black and white hair. Has all the author ink in the world. Right before Henry started writing, Rumpel stole the ink and pen. Dang it. You can't write anything. Rumpel just couldn't let him write them out of the snow globe. Haha. Nice try. You failed. It's dark out. That means it's almost midnight. Ella and Lucy are probably freezing to death. You don't have much time to save them. Wishram Henry, we saw him at the beginning of the episode. Remember, he was heartbroken because he couldn't find true love and he couldn't have a happy ending. He kept running into someone else's. Imagine you go after a true love to only find out it's not your own. Just like Ella and Lucy, that made Henry desperate when the Wishram Henry got desperate. Yes. So when Rumpel said he wasn't going to get his happy ending without Henry's help, he was talking about Wishram Henry. Yes, Henry was tried all his best ways to find his happy ending the right way, but then he got desperate and decided to turn evil after all because he gave up on doing things the right way. He's chosen the wrong path. So meet evil Henry. Not the first time. Peter Pan and Henry switched bodies back in season 3, so we've had an evil Henry before, but it was really Peter Pan and Henry's body, so I guess that doesn't count. This is our first time Henry is evil without switching bodies, like evil Henry being Henry. Regina's like, no, 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 that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I didn't know you. You know, I mean, here's the problem. You see, when you create a world based on a wish, those characters, their whole lives, they don't know they're fake. They're just as real as you are. You got to treat everyone with equalism. Remember, like for example, I'm just as much of a child of God as any African American out there, or I'm just as much of a child of God as a daughter of God. Anyway, so you treat everyone equally, including in fairy tale land. If you make a wish and create a whole world of fairy tale characters that look exactly like you, they're just as real as you. You can't just pretend they're not real. That was Regina's mistake back in season 6. They thought the world was just a fake wish, and fortunately, it became real. And yes. So killing Snow and Charming, you scarred Henry for life. Honestly. So because Wishram Henry, is the same Henry as our Henry, just with one difference: the curse was never cast. Our Wishram Henry is also the author. So he can steal the pen and write something bad. And he wrote that the power of the Guardians are no more, making Rumple immortal forever and not being able to reunite with Belle without making someone else the Dark One. So unfortunately, as hard as it was to try to find the Guardian, that power doesn't exist anymore because of Henry. Man, Rumple feels defeated because he can't reunite with Belle. And mhm. So plot twist: Rumple, after writing that the Guardians are no more, he traps every single fairy tale character into the snow globe. He traps all of Henry's family with Lucy and Cinderella, and they have until midnight until they freeze to death. So now every member of Henry's family is dying, and unfortunately, only Regina remains. The reason why Regina's not trapped in the snow globe is because Henry needs to get his revenge on her. He watched her crush his grandparents' hearts and stole his mom, and that story still needs its ending. It certainly does. Told you that I would come back to bite her in the face back in season 6 when she killed Snow and Charming. I told you that was gonna backfire in the end of season 7. This is where we're at. It's backfiring. The Wish Realm. Just when you thought it would be over after season 6, it's definitely part of season 7. Well, I mean, we saw Wish Realm Hook join us in this season, but like, it's more than that. So anyway, Alice, because her heart's poisoned, she's connected to Hook, and she knows whenever Hook's in danger. She can feel it in her poisoned heart that Hook's in danger, and so that now that her Alice and Alice and what's her name? What's her name? Alice and Robin. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot her name. Wicked Witch's daughter, Alice and Robin. You know, speaking of the Wicked Witch, we haven't seen her since she left San Francisco with Chad. So anyway, we'll never see her again. Anyway, Alice and Robin know that Hook's in danger, and so they're trying to find a magic bean. They're talking to Princess Tiana to see if she can get one from her kingdom. And so anyway, she gathers the whole town of Seattle, the whole town of Hyper and Heights together to see if she can find someone with a magic bean. And unfortunately, Remy, we don't know who he is as a fairy tale character. We don't know who he is as a fairy tale character, but Remy, who's been a constant character in our real world, has a magic bean because he was going to use it to escape the curse and then decide he didn't need to anymore. He's going to give it to Alice and Robin. So, okay, that's kind of a plot hole too. Magic beans are usually rare to come by, but because we're almost at the end of the show, we kind of have to just jump over the fact of where the bean came from and just kind of jump to conclusions so that we can get to the end. So again, a lot of plot holes in this episode, but we're trying to rush to the end. That's the point. These are some strange times. These fairy tale characters have never been in the real world before. And well, even though they have under the curse is broken now. So now they're debating on whether they should live their fairy tale lives or their real world lives. And they kind of need a queen to help them decide on that. And so Tiana's staying behind to rule her kingdom in Seattle. I don't think you're allowed to be a queen. I don't think queens and kings are allowed in the United States. But I mean, to be fair, I guess you could still kind of rule over them in private. Just don't let the world find out. Otherwise, they'll lock you away. So Tiana is staying to protect the kingdom, but Alice and Robin are leaving, and they have to make one stop before they go to the Wish Realm. And guess where they're going for help? We're going back to Storybrooke! Woohoo! In Tiana's van, setting the stage for the series finale. Okay, we're entering Storybrooke. Whoa! Episode rolls credits. Are you ready? I know it's 9:30. Normally we end right about now, but there's only one episode left. We're watching the series finale. So who's ready for it? Okay, 44 minutes, 39 seconds. Okay. Before we push play, just gonna check the comments really fast. Hi Ben. Um, do you have a different favorite character in each season? Who is your favorite character this season? Well, that would have to be Henry. All the other seasons have Emma. Curse just broke, but Wish Realm Rumple appears out of nowhere and makes it and traps Henry's family in a snow globe to make a deal for the Dark One dagger. Obviously, they're not going to negotiate. They're going to try to save Henry's family. Rumple tries to trick himself in a deal to get rid of the dagger, only to use squidding to freeze him and paralyze him for a second and then kill him. But then Regina intervenes, prevents that killing from happening, and then and then plot twist. The seer's revelation of Henry's being Rumple's undoing comes fulfilled, and at the same time, the rest of Henry's family is trapped in the snow globe, and they have till midnight till they freeze to death. So anyway, that's where we are. We're gonna see Storybrooke. Storybrooke is coming back in present day in the show. Man, we've been in Seattle for so long. It's been 8 weeks. It's time we go back to Storybrooke. All right, starting the episode. Ready? Countdown. 3, 2, 1, now. Series finale. Here we go. By midnight. Their lives. Remember, Henry's the author. We got cameos from Peter Pan, Ariel, Cruella, and The Apprentice. Unfortunately, Wishram Henry's also the author, and he wrote that the powers of the Guardian were no more. So how is Rumple going to reunite with Belle now, right? Well, we're back in Storybrooke. It's the seven doors. There is nothing like morning in Storybrooke, huh? I can't whistle. Oh my goodness. Wow. So there's Granny. We saw her a couple episodes ago helping Henry fix his car. Best sandwiches in all the realms. Until Alice and Robin's truck comes in and he ruins all of the Doris lunches. The Doris are like, what? Robin's like, I don't think that's what they're saying. They're just playing along just to capture you. So because they ruined Leroy's lunches, and he got so mad. Remember, he's grumpy. So you make him grumpy, he stays grumpy. Um, Leaving Storybrooke. That's the signature of the final thumbnail of Once Upon a Time. Wow, Leaving Storybrooke is in the title sequence. Okay. So here's the thing. You thought Storybrooke was nice cupcakes and family friendly, but when strangers come to Storybrooke, they think you're a villain and they try to capture you, especially when you run over Grumpy's lunch and destroy his and waste his meal. Right? He's gonna shoot. They're gonna shoot you with a crossbow and try to kill you because they think you're a villain for running over their lunches. That was just a mistake. Yeah. So they try to go to Regina, but Regina, Emma, and Henry are on a graduation trip. So they're out of town. That's good. That doesn't so that way we don't ruin the timeline, right? We need our core characters out of the picture. But anyway, Warrior Witch was kind of a core character too, so I don't know why they let her be in it. But anyway, the Wicked Witch, she's driving Regina's car, so they mistaken her as the evil queen, and she's the Wicked Witch. So they might not get help from the evil queen, but they're getting help from Robin's mom. So yes, we don't get to see our Wicked Witch again. I didn't lie. We don't get to see our Wicked Witch again, but we get to see the one we saw in season 6, like the one that we left behind in the final battle, not the one that married Chad. That Wicked Witch has not fallen in love with Chad yet. And so anyway, so yes, I know. I did say we weren't going to see her again. She technically does come back in the series finale, but this is a different way. This is the younger Wicked Witch. This is not the one that fell in love with Chad and got kidnapped by Nick. So so everyone's trapped in the snow globe, right? And Hook is trying to give a speech to Rumple saying, you may never be reunited with Belle. I may never be with Alice again, but I'm not giving up. That's good speech coming from Captain Hook. Anyway. I mean, that was bold of Regina to kill Henry's grandparents, but uh but that wasn't her. That wasn't her. That wasn't her. That wasn't her. Sorry, I was on my phone. Someone was trying to join the Once Upon a Time group chat. Anyway. Well, see what Henry just said there? Did you hear his word? Was revenge everything you hoped it would be? Regina wasn't killing your grandparents for revenge. That's the thing. Yes, Regina always wanted to kill Snowy and Charming when she was the evil queen. Yes, that's true. But this Henry's grandparents, she only killed them to save the savior. Like, it was the only way to get her to believe that she was Emma, to believe that she was the savior in the wish realm. So you see, Regina kind of had no choice. She wasn't trying to be evil, but to Henry, she was, and she's trying to explain to Henry that she's not that person anymore. You know. Yep. In another realm, Regina is Henry's mother. Wish realm, Henry's like, I don't believe it. You never adopted me. I was never your son. Like, that's because in this world, the curse never happened. It's nice to see Jared Gilmore play an evil role. Not the first time he had to pretend to be Peter Pan in season 3, but he gets to play his own character in an evil state. That's kind of cool. Regina's begging to save him and give him a redemption arc, but Henry refuses to redeem himself, and he doesn't need to be saved. He'd rather be evil. Wow, what a bold and what a bold and bleak statement Henry just said. Remember, in the Wish realm, it's the opposite. In Storybrooke, we get happy endings and good always wins. But in Fairy Tale Land, it doesn't. This is a world where things are the opposite. Good never wins. People die. Snow and Charming got killed by the evil queen. Emma was taken, right? Anyway, in the Wish realm, everyone's story is written in blood and tears. No happy ending. Well, it's never too late, wouldn't you say? Henry just needs to be good again. Can't be evil over some past that Regina created. And it's not her fault. She was trying to save Emma. She needed Emma to, you know, stop the evil queen and Black Fairy and final battle stuff. Honestly, Henry doesn't see where Regina's coming from. I don't think he ever could because it's kind of complicated. Robin's back! Another cameo! Robin Hood. Never, he died. Hades killed him. We haven't seen him since. We saw Wish Realm Robin Hood in season 6, but we haven't seen our Robin Hood since Hades. So, anyway, Robin is gone. Remember, he's the only fairy tale character that didn't die. He's the only fairy tale character that doesn't exist. He's the only fairy tale character that doesn't have an afterlife because Hades ended him, both physically and spiritually. No afterlife. But despite Hades' efforts in destroying the existence of Robin Hood is in Regina's heart. You know, the love that she felt for him back when he was alive is in her heart. So he is gone. He doesn't exist. He has no life after death, but he is in Regina's heart. He's trying to give Regina a speech here. He's the only one that has fate worse than death, you know. Anyway, Robin, remember when they first met, Regina was the evil queen. But but you know, but thanks to their love, Regina changed and became good and anyway. Yeah, see the evil queen's story is proof that no one's path is set. Evil's not born, it's made. You could show Henry that evil's not born, it's made. So is good. And so your path's not set. Just because you were born a villain doesn't mean you can't be a hero. And just because you were born a hero doesn't mean you can't be a villain. Because in true reality, evil's not born, it's made. Heroic's not born, it's made. You can choose to be good or evil. It's up to you. It's your choice. And that's what Robin's trying to remind Regina. You can't help but Henry choose between good and evil. Remember the feather she lost after Robin died? The Wicked Witch lost the feather that was supposed to be given to Regina. Looks like she finally found the feather, the red feather that she's wanted for years. Got that plot resolved. Since Rumpel and Hook are only moments away from dying, they're talking truths amongst one another that they might not say otherwise if they don't say it now. So Hook is saying the reason why I kept you as a detective is because I know your good heart and all that stuff. And then Hook's like, "Well, why did you not use it to kill me? Why did you stop getting revenge on me back? You know, when I killed Mila and stuff." And Hook's like, well, because you're the closest thing I ever had to a friend. Honestly, Hook and Rumple went from enemies to being friends. That's why they stopped killing each other. Really, our Rumple stopped killing Hook because of they had a shared goal on saving Henry back in Neverland. But the reason Wishram Hook it's different. The reason why Rumple stopped killing Wishram Hook is because they became friends. We got a rescue mission. We just saved Ella and Lucy from the snow globe, but now Regina's captured. We got to save her. Anyway, so here we go. So so anyway, Alice and Robin and the Wicked Witch and a bunch of people from Storybrooke come to the. It's off screen. We don't have time to do it because we have less than an episode left, right? So they all, we just are supposed to believe they all somehow got to the Wish Realm through magic being behind the Wicked Witch's closet, and everyone's hiding a magic being behind their closet now. Apparently, not just Henry. And anyway, they get here and they use Maui's fish hook. How did they even find Maui's fish hook? Anyway, a lot of plot holes that are getting skipped over. But anyway, yeah, instead of being nitpicky, you might as well enjoy what's going on. But anyway, they somehow minimize Maui's fish hook and put it into the snow globe so that Hook and Rumple can use it to get out and save all of Henry's family. And yeah, so while Rumple's going into the library to find out a way to defeat himself, everyone else is going to try to save Regina. So Henry, our evil Henry, has stabbed Regina by splitting her by splitting by using a knife to split open her hand and grab some blood, and waited a long time for Rumple. Obviously, Rumple shows up and tells Henry to channel his inner anger. Remember in Star Wars, one reason Darth Vader fell into the dark side was because of his anger, his hate. Henry's using his anger and hate to open a portal to trap every fairy tale character in a world full of misery and heartbroken. So now Rumple's evil plan is revealed. Yep, she's trapped in a happy ending made just for her. We love a happy ending, not an evil ending. Rumple. Soon, every fairy tale character from every realm shall suffer the same fate. Snow White, Prince Charming, Regina, Lucy, Emma, they're all going to suffer the same fate. Alice, Granny, Grumpy, Cinderella, Lucy. Once you kill the evil queen, all their fates will be sealed. So all Henry has to do is kill the evil queen, and they'll be stuck in a book, unhappily. So okay, right now we've been living a story full of happy endings, right? Rumpelstiltskin has created a story where no one lives a happy ending. They all live miserable, heartbreaking, disturbing lives. That does not seem happy to me. But anyway, they still have time to stop Rumpel because Henry has not killed Regina yet. Once he kills Regina, it'll be too late. Rumpel's sad because he can't find a way to defeat himself, and he's bringing up a dream catcher full of his memories of when he married Belle at the altar, and he's like, "Sorry, Belle. No matter what I do, I will never earn my way back to you. I'm sorry." He's given up on trying to reunite with Belle in heaven. No matter what he does, he's stuck on Earth. He can't seem to pass on to the next life. You know, be glad you're not Robin Hood. He's the one unfortunate character that gets to know life after death, while everyone else does. Never play with Olympian crystal. Let me just say that. But anyway, Ripple has a chance to go to the afterlife if you could just find a way to be less mortal. So Alice and Robin are trying to sneak into Henry's castle, but it's guarded by a bunch of knights. I'm gonna take a picture. All right, there we go. So Robin has asked Hook her blessing to marry Alice, or another LGBT couple. Besides Alice and besides Ruby and Red. I mean Ruby and Dorothy. So anyway, we're not going to see that wedding. Let me just say that Alice and Robin, we're not going to see that wedding. He has Hook's blessing to marry her, but there's not time for they don't do the proposal or wedding in this finale. Only we had a season 8. That would be nice to see. Wow, Hook's heart is poisoned. He's dying, but he's going to give it all he has left to do it for his daughter and save Henry, Regina, save Alice, but save Regina on behalf of his daughter Alice. Said that's so weird. Anyway, join before the live stream ends. So it looks like the knights were just about to kill Henry, and Regina could do nothing about it because he was locked in jail. But thanks to Snow and Charming, they came in disguise and ended up saving Henry's life. Snow and Charming disguised as Black Knights and snuck into Henry's palace save um to save Henry. Wow, Snow and Charming. If it weren't for his grandparents, he would be dead by now. Yep. A new friend. Snow and Charming are gathering the fairy tale characters around the table, around the round table, around the battle table to talk about not giving up and having hope to fight. So everyone has a horrible happy ending, Everyone a sad ending, that is, and everyone feels miserable for the see. There's Regina standing in the middle of the ocean on a rock. Snow White in a desert all by herself. No one living happily ever after. Heartbroken forever. We need to stop Rumple before this becomes permanent. Yeah, well, as the Wicked Witch said, that is disturbing. Separate books, separate realms. Yep, everyone's separated for good. That's kind of sad. Rumple has not made them real yet. We have time to stop him. You know, until Henry kills Regina, we have time to stop him before it becomes real forever. So Snow and Charming gave a powerful speech in the war room. He gave them a powerful speech to fight and win. You know, Rumple believes that evil Rumpelstiltskin believes that if he succeeds, that no one will live happily ever after, and everyone will be lost forever. But Snow and Charming don't believe that. With enough hope, anyone can succeed. They just have to believe their love is strong enough, you know, to survive. Even this, anyway. Rumple had a plan. Rumple's plan was to rip his own heart out and crush it. But unfortunately, Rumple beat him to his own plan, and that plan's not working either. No matter what Rumple tries to do, whether it's give himself the dagger, give him his own heart, it seems to fail. Mm-hmm. Am I still live? I gotta check. I'm not seeing a live button on my channel. Let me check. We're still live on Facebook. That's good. YouTube? Yes, we're still live. Good. Phew! I don't have to worry about our internet tonight. That's kind of good. So, what's happening? Well, see, Rumple fails to defeat himself, and everyone's trapped inside Rumple's palace, and portals are starting to open to trap everyone in different worlds, different books, and anyway, and Henry's having a sword fight with Regina, almost ready to kill her. Wow, it's intense. Can they succeed, or will they fail? Final battle. Not final battle, but I mean like last battle of the entire show. Good versus evil. One more time. Here we go. Well, oh, Alice, I can't talk. Hook can't bear to see his daughter get pulled away into a portal. So he's holding on to her hand, even if it suffers his own heart, and he dies. He gives out. He's dying, right? He doesn't care about his poison heart. All he cares about is his daughter. Henry! Oh no, Regina! You lost your sword. You gained the upper. Henry has the upper hand. No, Regina, don't die. I'm acting so weird about it right now. I'm so sorry, Henry. Don't do this. No! Papa, let go! Looks like never. I don't care if my heart's poisoned. Yeah, Regina deserves to be alone, and that's how he's gonna die. Well, if only Henry knew how much of a good person Regina was. Regina's willing to let Henry kill her. If she has to go out, letting Henry know that everyone loves her, that everyone loves him, that's a worthy end for her. She's ready to die. But Henry is debating on whether he should kill her or let his revenge go. He chooses to let his revenge go. No one goes into the portal. No one gets a unhappily ever after. Rumple's plan fails, all because Henry decides not to kill Regina. Wow, Regina really got through to him at the last minute. Unfortunately, Hook's dying because he touched Alice and it poisoned his heart too much. I'm sending everyone a reminder that if they're not watching the live stream, they should hurry and join us for the very end of the show because we're in the last 15 minutes of it right now. What time is it? It's 9:58 already. Wow. Well, this is when we were supposed to end, but I guess I kind of talked a little too much in between episodes. But we got 15 minutes left, and then we'll end the live stream. So, all right, we got 15 minutes left. In my message, I said 20, but that's because I have to send it to five different social media accounts, and that takes a minute. So anyway, so where were we? So right now, Rumple's trying to stand up to himself, obviously. But what did I miss as I was sending that message out? Let's see. Henry just chooses not to kill Regina. You know, who's his mother from another realm, and Rumple's plan fails, and and um and Rumple still knowing that and it's not over yet until he defeats himself, tries to defeat Rumple but fails to do it. However, he's going to make a heroic sacrifice that evil Rumple's unwilling to see. So yes, Rumple was the dark one, but he's involved. He's a better man now, and he's going to be the hero that everyone remembers, not the villain that everyone remembers. And yes, he may not be reunited with Belle by killing himself, but you don't do the right thing for a reward. You do it because it's right. That's what he learned. Rumple, unknowing what his better half was going to do, he didn't even think smart. Rumple was one step ahead, pulled out his heart, gave it to Hook, and did it so quick that that Wish Realm Rumple could do nothing to stop it. Officially defeating him and erasing him from existence. By killing Rumple, it erased Wish Realm Rumple, which doesn't make sense. I know when we killed the evil queen, Regina, remember how when Regina separated herself and we killed Regina, it would kill the evil queen too? Remember how the only way to kill the evil queen was to kill Regina? That does not work because that was Dr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde serum. Wish Realm, it's different. You can kill someone and the other can still be alive. So I don't get how this works. I don't get, I think that's another plot hole. I don't think Rumple can just disappear, because he's not an evil version of himself. He is, but not in the Jackal and Hyde kind of way. He's just the Wish Realm version. So I don't get it. But anyway, if it helps us get to the end of the series, then it might as well ignore that plot hole, right? Rumple disappears from existence after our Rumple gives his heart to Hook, and he died making the ultimate sacrifice to save everyone in the Wish Realm. Rumple is now hopefully in heaven, reuniting with Belle, and Regina's and everyone saying their last goodbyes as his dead bodies lying on the ground. The actor of Rumpelstiltskin mentioned that if there was a season 8, he wasn't going to return. So this would have been his last episode, regardless if it was the series finale or not. So honestly, it made sense for him to die and reunite with Belle. He's the only character that's been here since the pilot. Same with Regina. Henry can kind of count, but he's kind of played by a different actor, so it doesn't count because it's older Henry. But the same actor, same character. The only person who made it all the way through the show is Rumple and Regina. They're the only ones. And if there would have been a season 8, Regina would have been the only one to survive even longer than that. The fact that Rumple died before the very last scene of the show shows that who's the winner? Who's the only person that survived all 7 seasons? Regina, right? Because Rumple just died now. I know he was in every episode, but he still died when there's 13 minutes left. So who survived up to the last minute? Regina, right? So we can say Regina's the ultimate winner. She's the only character that survived the entire show. That is the whole premise, though. Did you know that what started the show was, can the evil queen have a happy ending? That was the whole thing that started the show. That's what the writers pitched to ABC. They said, "What if the evil queen got a happy ending?" That's what pitched the show in the beginning. It was to get the evil queen a happy ending, not to cast everyone into the real world, not to defeat a Snow Queen or defeat Peter Pan or Rumpelstiltskin. The whole concept was based on whether the evil queen can have a happy ending. So it makes sense for her to stay around until the show ended. Rumple is in the afterlife, so Regina says her goodbyes and saying, "Thank you for teaching us one last lesson, that darkness will always find the light and that light will always win." That's a final lesson from Rumpelstiltskin. Rumple's in the afterlife now at the well where him and Belle got married, and he finds Belle there in heaven in the heavenly smoke of flame. He finds Belle in the afterlife standing on a cloud, and they share true love's kiss. Oh, Belle and Rumple are reunited, and they're young again. Belle's not old anymore. Yippee! I know you'd make it home, and this is the actor coming back for the series finale to show up, right? Anyway, wow, another cameo from Belle. First, Pan, Pan, The Apprentice, um, Ariel, Cruella, Wicked Witch, Belle. So many cameos. Happy ending, and Snow and Charming. Let's not forget them. They're in heaven, living happily ever after. How about everyone who's still on Earth, though? How about everyone who's still alive? What becomes of them? Regina's in the war room. The war is over. They defeated Rumple. So what do they do now? They don't know what to do. What do they do? Yeah, everyone's looking for you. They want to know where their queen is. They want to know where Regina is. Yeah. We need to cast one more curse. What are you talking about, Regina? We're done with your curses. Why do you need to cast one more? Anyway, yeah. It looks like someone sent me a text message. They said they like happy endings. It's a sent a picture of me to my family and to my grandma and stuff. So this just to remember our day that we finished the series. Regina's gonna cast one more curse. But this one's different. This one's not the evil curse we saw in the beginning. This is not the curse that takes us to the real world. This is the curse that will do the opposite. Instead of separating everyone or making them forget who they are, Regina realized that the curse is a blueprint to something magical. It was not meant to be for evil. That's just how it was used. It was not meant to be for evil. The curse can be used for good. The dark curse can be a light curse. It can be used for good. It can bring all the realms together. There would be no more portals, no more separation. The Wish Realm, Neverland, Oz, Wonderland, real world, all in one world. Collide all the worlds together in the United Realm, right? Sometime later, the curse is cast. Again, we don't have time to do another season of stuff. So we jump to the future where the curse is already cast. If it were me, I'd spend a whole season 8 trying to cast that curse. But nope, oh well. This is the end of the series. So we're jumping all the way to the end to when the curse is already cast and all the worlds of story are in one universe. So Arendelle, you see a little bit of Camelot. You see Maleficent's castle. You see Oz. All the worlds are in one land. Wow, how do you combine all the worlds into one place? That's crazy. Zoro's a dragon. Wow. So now we know who Lily's father is. They just said it was Zoro. We don't get to meet him. We don't get to see Lily or Maleficent, but we do know that that Lily's father is the dragon, which never got resolved. Right? Again, another plot hole that got unresolved. But they said it in a line. So honestly, I'd like to see it for my own eyes. The thing about TV shows is you show don't tell, and they just told us that Lily's father is Zoro. Prove it. Anyway, oh well. I wonder who the dragon's daughter is then, because they were really setting up in season 6 that the dragon could be Lily's father, but apparently not. So then, who's the dragon's daughter? Is my question. That never got answered. Oh well. When you're the writers of a TV show, it's hard to keep track of everything. So, gotta give them a benefit of a doubt. Well, hey, Regina. So everyone is taking Regina to the palace. They have a special surprise for her. She's she's the one who cast the curse to put bring everyone together. So she's responsible for all this, and they're trying to reward her for doing this. After so many years of being evil and separating everyone, she's bringing everyone together, and she's earned her full on redemption. So, oh, there's Jasmine. I just saw Jasmine in the background. Ah, anyway, Regina had no idea what she was in for, but surprise! It's a coronation. It's her coronation day. She's being crowned. Regina is. Everyone took a vote, and they want Regina to be their queen because she was the one who cast the curse. She's the one who brought everyone together. So, yeah, it makes sense for everyone to decide. What about Tiana? She was a queen in Seattle. Why didn't they decide her? Well, she wasn't the one who cast the curse. Regina was. They all believe that she's a good ruler, and they all believe she changed, and they want to give her a second chance, and so they're voting for her to be the queen, and she's getting a surprise pop coronation, like pop quiz, like she didn't see it coming, like she didn't even know it was her coronation day. They kind of surprised her at the last minute, and she's kind of going with it. Anyway, so Snow and Charming are the ones to crown her. They know what it's like. They've been king and queen before. They're gonna try to crown her. Is everyone here? Where's Emma? She's the only cameo we haven't had. This at first when we watched this, we thought that was an excuse to keep her out of the series finale. But they surprised us again. Remember when Regina burst through those doors at Snow and Charming's wedding and said, "Sorry, I'm late." Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Regina, Snow White's giving the speech to Regina. Do you accept the role as the being queen of the United Realms? And she says yes. And so now they're going to crown her. She accepts the role of being queen, and they're going to crown her. But just before they crown her, just like Snow and Charming, just before they share True Love's kiss, in the pilot, it was the evil queen bursting through those doors and saying, "Sorry, I'm late. I'll destroy your happy endings." Wah! But this time, Emma bursts through the doors and says, "Sorry, I'm late. I don't want to." She's not evil, right? We go from an evil interruption to a polite, kind interruption and saying, "I don't want to miss it. Please don't crown her yet." Barely missed it. She almost missed it. That crown was only like what, a few centimeters off her head when Emma entered. Emma's here. That was a surprise. It disappointed fans at first, but then she came in as a quick surprise, saying, "Nope, sorry, we're not excusing her out of the show. She's here." Jennifer Morrison reprised her role for the end. Anyway, she kind of disrupted the coronation a little bit, but she apologized. Now everything's back on track. And Regina just got crowned the good queen, and everyone's cheering for her. Woohoo! Man, and Henry's holding his sister. It's weird because remember they time traveled. It's weird having an adult Henry with a baby sister who's younger than his own daughter. Whoa! Imagine I have a daughter. She's 10 years old, Zendaya, and then suddenly mom has another child. It's gonna be weird to have a sibling who's younger than your children. That's weird. That's so weird. Anyway. Anyway, family tree is a little messy and timelines are messed up and people don't age and things are weird. Imagine being the same age as your mother. Weird. Anyway, I made a whole script about me being older than my mom. Anyway, that's what happens when you time travel or de-age or don't age at all. This is it. Regina's happy ending. Being the good queen, not the evil queen. Good queen. Yes. She hates happy endings because that means your story's up. And everyone's stories here, their stories are far from over. Well, not true for us. This is all we get to see. But anyway, Regina's like, it's not a happy ending. It's not a happy ending. Remember what we learned in season 6? Happy endings suck because that means your story's up. Happy beginnings is the way to go. Yes, this is all we're going to see on camera. But these characters are going to continue living their lives happily ever after the end. So it's not really a happy ending. It's a happy beginning for a new life and a new adventure outside of the screen, right? Anyway, and even Regina doesn't want to call it a happy beginning. She wants to call it a second chance because she was a bad stepmother, an evil queen back in the day. Now she's going to make up for it by being a good queen. Her redemption arc comes full circle in this series finale. So Regina's giving her final speech. She's saying, "I refuse to believe there won't be more adventures, more love." We're getting flashbacks of the entire series right now. More family, and there will be more loss, unfortunately. Yeah. There will be all of that outside of this show itself. There's going to be more family love, loss, and there is more loss because it's part of life. We're not meant to stay here forever. We're meant to move on to the afterlife. Anyway, but in the end, we could get past it all through hope. Through hope. Regina just gave a powerful speech about hope. That's a lot coming from her, especially since she used to be the evil queen full of hopelessness. And now she has a lot of hope and a lot of redemption from everyone in this kingdom. You get a flashback of every single thing from the series except for Wonderland. That was its own separate show. If it were me, I would add some Wonderland bits in there. But anyway, everyone's clapping for her coronation. You know, her, her story did technically come to an end a long time ago when she was the evil queen, but now she's found a new story to begin. And she's no longer the evil queen anymore. She's Regina, the good queen. Everyone cheers for her. And from this point on, she becomes queen of the United Realms. All the realms put into one universe, one planet, one realm, one story. No more portals, no more separation. They're all in one world. Anyway, one island. Anyway, we're getting flashbacks of our screen is cruising through Storybrooke, passing Regina's house, Granny's, the clock tower, the spinning windmill of Tinkerbell, and the streets, the Emma's yellow bug, the truck that sells beignets, and then finally the last shot. We see the leaving Storybrooke sign as the camera slowly walks past, and the show goes to black. Show ends. Series over. The end. Woo. Again, with Rumple's evil plan, we find out that he wants to trap everyone in a different world for good, living unhappily ever after. But and all Henry has to do is kill Regina, who killed his grandparents, so he wants to get revenge. Anyway, luckily Regina knocked some sense into him thanks to Robin. Right? She had a vision of Robin, and Henry's so close to killing Regina when Regina knocks some sense into him, and then he decides not to kill her. Then, defeating Rumple's plan, and then finally Rumple giving up his heart to give to Hook so that his poisoned heart is cured and he could be with Alice. And, in return, Rumple goes to the afterlife to be with Belle, and our evil Rumple disappears from existence. Regina did cast one more curse to try to reunite everyone, to combine Oz, Neverland, and Wonderland all in one world, so you don't have to use magic beans to travel. After casting that curse, she gets crowned the good queen, gives a powerful speech about hope, and then we get a glance at Storybrooke before the show ends. That kind of, sums up what happened in the series finale. Again, cameos from Emma, who showed up late, just like the evil queen did in the pilot. Stay tuned, because we have one more week to get together. Next week, I have a goodbye presentation. It's a video I pre-made, so this is my technically last time going live, yes. But I have a video that's going to air live next week, and I will be chatting in the live section, so I'm still going to be here watching the video with you guys. I won't be talking because there's already going to be, just like Henry, 2 versions of Henry. There's 2 versions of Ben Larson. Until then, God be with you till we meet again. It's been a fun journey with you. I can't believe it's over. I'm trying to delay ending this live stream because I know once it's over, it's over. But that's it for Once Upon a Time. So see you next Thursday. Bye, y'all.